today we're at the Fishers Pond, in Fishers Pond. So the Fishers Pond was built in 1934, and this would have been a very, very different area because it was built along with the garage around on the Bishop's Waltham Road. It was built as part of a planned garden city. But there must have been some luminaries or some people that had some influence in the council, because by 1937 it had become a greenbelt, and therefore no further building took place. Anyway, it was a former tea room called the Fishers Pond Cafe. It then became Fishers Pond Waterside Pub and Dining Room, and then in later years it has been run by chains, and this latest chain that runs it is Vintage Inns. Very nice pub. So it's a private restaurant. We hired it for our wedding reception, and it was absolutely lovely. Although Sue in our high heels sinking in the mud by the lake for the photographs was something to remember, but there we go. Anyway, on with the walk. We're going to walk from here out into Hensting Lane through the gap in the hedge there, and we're going to turn right. Although it didn't become a garden city, there are still some very nice houses in Hensting Lane. The best ones, however, are on the right hand side, and they back onto the lake. As you see, some houses back onto the Fishers Pond itself. Lovely outlook. At the right time of year, toad breeding season, there's quite an army of toads that will hop across the road here, hence the warning sign. And I guess somebody's got a cat, because they've done a homemade sign on the back, look. Anyway, we continue along Hensting Lane, past all these lovely houses with the lake behind. Lots of modern designs, but all with that lovely view in common. Now this is what I call a lollipop walk. So we've reached the top of the stick. There's a path that I've just shown you that we'll be going along later on, but we're going to go towards Swift's farm at the moment, down the bridleway. And this is another pond belonging to Fishers Pond Fishery. So there's been a fishery here for 900 years, originally owned by the Bishop of Winchester, but the present owners, the present family that own the fishery, have owned it since 1934. They used to do lots of ornamental fish and lots of different things, but it's majored really on large carp. Fisheries across the UK stocked with mainly carp that come from the Fishers Pond Fishery. Anyway, we're going to walk on between the lakes to continue our walk. And we pass Swift's farmhouse on the right. At this point, the bridleway continues along this narrow path through the nettles. There, now we've got a crossroads of paths. We're not going left, and we're not going right. We're going straight on. You get the T-junction of little paths. We're going to turn left. Some nice signs there. And we're going to continue along literally about 5 yards, and then we're going to turn onto this footpath on the left to go across the field. So there's a little bit of information. It's managed by Marwell Wildlife. So looks like a scene out of Doomwatch. Glad there's a vehicle here with a sign saying what they're up to. So it must be Marwell Wildlife and they're chemical spraying. And they got this lovely Land Rover here in its natural environment. Anyway, we continue on past the Land Rover. Let's carry on along the path. The path should have been diagonally across the field to come out at the end of this path, but there's no well-worn path there, so whether the Ordnance Survey are a bit behind and there's no longer a right-of-way, or whether there still is a right-of-way but it's not been mown, I don't know. I mean, they're pretty good at marking out these paths. Anyway, no hassle, bit of a dog leg up the field and then turn left, take you to the same place. So we've given the spraying a wide berth. And at the edge of the field here, we carry straight on. Well, that's a nice place to pitch up. I think it's probably something to do with the horses. Nice, peaceful, quiet. That's a lovely little setup with the bell tent. Anyway, we carry straight on along the track. So we've got some more bell tents, some shepherd's huts. They must offer some sort of camping break. Anyway, onward. So having spoken to a local, if you want to come camping here, it's called Moorland Copse Camping. Very horsey area. You can buy an outdoor kitchen. Anyway, on the road there, we're going to turn left and then pretty much immediately right. So we come from between the buildings there, literally a few yards down the road, and we follow this footpath through a kissing gate. A lovely area, and you can extend this one into my Osselbury walk to make a really long walk as well. Anyway, we continue through yet another kissing gate. A nice well-defined path across the field. And we have another kissing gate into the next field. And another kissing gate. Yeah, another kissing gate. Now if you don't like kissing gates, this isn't the walk for you. But the paths are very well maintained. And the kissing gates too. Just get through, and I'll show you for why. And if we look, it's had a lot of support and funding from the Parish Council of Colden Common, HCC and Winchester Ramblers. So we carry on. Now we leave the hayfield behind to take this path alongside. a nice new kissing gate. So lovely bit of boardwalk taking us over the water and through the nettles. And on this tree, you quite often see this, and that is a dormouse trap, and it's done for planning purposes and just general sort of data collection purposes to see if there are dormice in residence. What happens, the dormouse will go in there, it doesn't trap them, but it'll leave its little footprints, and professionals will recognise those little footprints and say, hey, there was a dormouse in this tree, so it must be nesting somewhere. Anyway, enough of that. You can see it's a bit of a bog down there, so really glad of this boardwalk. There's Trevor hiding amongst the bulrushes. For those that know the area, there's the mobile home park, so we'll soon be exiting onto Main Road in Colden Common. Now, rather than stand by the noisy road in Colden Common, I'll do my history bit here. Colden Common was known as Colden in the 13th century, and that's Old English for a cleft or a valley. It was a major manufacturing village for Paleolithic flint tools. Of course, that's helped by the chalk, because chalk and flint always go together. Now, as a kid, I always used to call it Golden Common. I think my mum called it Golden Common as well. Not completely wrong, because early Ordnance Survey maps had it down as Golding Common. But of course it is, these days, Colden Common. And more modern industry is brickworks. It used to have brickworks, but now it's pretty much just a little residential village for commuters. A big ant's nest down there, complete with flying ants. I guess they'll be taken to the wings soon. Look at them. See if I'm getting closer. Now, I did wonder, even though it was on the map, where this path came out, because I had never seen it from the road. And now I know. It's, let's get through the gate. It's just inside the mobile home park. So we come out here. And we turn left onto Main Road. So those of you that use buses and public transport, there's plenty of buses take you near the start of the walk in. From Winchester there's a 69. Oh, no timetables, it doesn't say what other ones. I think it's the 61 as well. It goes through Eastleigh. It might not be, but it's certainly the 69. Anyway, we carry on. I stand corrected with that, thinking about it. The 69 goes through the village, so it must be the 61 that stops there. Anyway, enough bus talk. Keep on walking down towards the roundabout. Now just keep straight on at the roundabout towards Fishers Pond and Farrow. Now this is Holy Trinity Church, Colden Common. Holy Trinity was built in 1843 and it's grade 2 listed. Not uncommon, but not common either. It's got no bell tower. It's been the scene of great happiness and great sadness for my family, as my nieces have been christened here, or one of them has, and weddings. But also my lovely brother-in-law is buried in the churchyard after dying far too early. I see the doors open, let's have a look inside. It's not an invisible choir, we have a lady working in the church. Having a chat to Trev. Lovely peaceful graveyard. The last resting place of my cheeky, funny brother-in-law. Hello Chris, how you doing? Anyway, on with the walk. Probably best to cross over to that side of the road when you leave the church. And you're looking for this path here. It's quite well hidden, but it leads into the woods. That's where we're going. Living around Stoke Park, it's always odd to me, although probably most woods are like it. Private woods that sort of fence off the footpaths that go through them. I'm used to being able to wander anywhere where we go, which is literally out of my front door and a couple of yards up the road. But this is a private wood, as you see, so you stick to the footpath. And we exit the woods through this nice wooden gate. Just a gate, not a kissing gate. And you'd recognise this as the big long field that we walked across earlier, I think. Anyway, through the ferns we must go, looking out for sleeping adders. And there's the 11 o'clock-ish EasyJet from Eastleigh to Scotland. I think it's Glasgow, might be Edinburgh, no, Glasgow I think. Anyway, go down this nicely fenced path which will bring us back out onto Hensting Lane. And there we are, we've completed the lollipop. Now back down the stick. So here we are, we're back at the pub, the doors are open, which is a result. We thought it was 11:45, but must be earlier. So walk down Hensting Lane, back to the pub, lovely. So that was a lovely 3.5 to 4 mile walk. It's a lovely pub, as I said, we had our wedding reception here years ago. Beautiful view, nice to sit out here on a summer's day, something to drink, something to eat. Water. But anyway, we're going to go in and have a drink today. A bit early for lunch, we didn't think the pub would be open yet, but it is, so we're going to go and have a drink. So follow me.